Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movement Theories podcast. I'm Josh, and this is the theatre podcast run by students, and it's talking about young people with young people, problems that young people face that they're going through. I think it's the best one. My mum says it's the best one. If you agree, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a follow, comment if you like certain things. I don't know, do all those things. I forget to shout them out all the time. Today's episode, we're joined by Jess Crystal, another bird student. Jess, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Congratulations on your release of your podcast.
Yes.
Which I think is so exciting that someone else is doing a podcast themselves.
Yeah, well, I've wanted to do a podcast for honestly years. Like, if you look back on my Snapchat memories, it's like me 3 years ago being like, I want to start a podcast. But I never did.
Yeah.
And then it came up in a conversation between me and Abs, and she was like, should we just do it?
Yeah, totally.
And I was
You
like,
just got to.
let's just do it.
Did you see this and go, okay, so someone's doing it. Maybe we can as well.
I think it was a thing of like, because we had no clue where to start or anything.
Yeah.
And then I think, like, we saw, because I follow this movement theories on Instagram. And we were like, well, surely, like, if people are doing it, it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like it was.
Is it that hard? How have you found it?
Honestly, so fine. It's just having conversations.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's like we say it's conversations that we would have in any ways just recorded.
Totally. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed by the way you like timetable things. And I see that you have like slots and you have everything. Like, is that just how your brain works? Because you always are posting your like your day or like your week schedule, and everything's like down to a T. I mean, you've got like recording session here, and you've got bits and bobs there, release dates.
I'm a very organized person.
Yeah.
I've got my calendar app and my notes app.
Yeah.
And they're color coordinated.
Nice.
I just love it. I think it's because if I look at it and I'm like, okay, from this time to this time I can do this, and this time I've got this, I can slot in like little bits for myself or something.
Nice.
In and around that.
Yeah. So you're 19 years old.
I am.
Same as me.
Yeah.
Both in first year. Although, do we have any overlapping? Is it just tap support?
Yeah, I think it's just tap support.
Might be. Because I always get really confused with like who I'm actually with for tap, because it seems to change. And I think it did change, like the groups.
Because my group is an extra group. Because
what do you mean an extra group?
So there was supposed to be 9 groups in first year.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's 10 groups.
I see. Okay.
My group, Elba, is like an extra group, so they have to work our timetable around everyone else's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I used to be in Adam's tap support, but now
you're in my one.
Yeah.
Got you. Obviously, train at Bird College, and you do hybrid training outside of Bird College.
I do.
Tell me about hybrid training. What does that involve?
Hybrid training, it's basically where you do some form of training that benefits one part of your life, and then some form of training that benefits another part. So say strength and cardio. Mm-hmm. So for me, I do weightlifting, and then for my strengthening, and then for my cardio, I've just started training for a half marathon.
Ooh, nice.
So
yeah, I'm not a runner, so I can just admire. I can just be like, that's cool. But that's good.
The thing was that I used to love running for my mental health. It was like my favorite thing, and then I just stopped doing it for some reason. And then because my mom's done the Great North Run a few times, and every time I'd be like, oh, I really want to do it. And then this year I just bit the bullet. Mm-hmm. And went, I'll sign up for it. If I don't get a place, then I don't get a place.
Yeah.
And I need to stop thinking about doing it. And I opened the email and it was like, you've got a place. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So you've got something to work towards.
Yeah.
Which I guess helps because you've got that motivation. Mm-hmm. I tried to get into running, and I go through phases where maybe 1 week I'll do it a few times and then I don't for ages. And I think it's just because I've never had anything to work towards. Yeah. And I'm so good at talking myself out of it. Currently, the thing that's stopping me is I say, I don't want to get shin splints. I want to focus on dance. I don't want to. And so that's where I'm currently at with it. And I think you might have shin splints.
As someone who has shin splints, running with shin splints is definitely a risky game.
Yeah.
And yeah, since we've got assessments and everything right now, I'm kind of just laying back a little bit.
That's probably very sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get them? Like what? How do you avoid them? Like, I guess is the proper question to ask.
Avoiding them, I would love to know.
Yeah.
If anyone would like to tell me how to avoid them, please do. I think you just get them from. It's something to do with your calf. I think it's
pulling, like being quite tight.
Yeah, when it like pulls on your calf and then it's
like
I'm muscles here.
I'm always told to roll my calves out if I ever feel pain in my shins.
Yeah.
Which is, I think I do quite successfully. Mm-hmm. Although I thought, okay, so one of our teachers, you might know who, is a big fan of rollers, foam rollers. And, you know, I admire this teacher. So I was like, cool, bought the roller, been rolling out loads. I thought I did a good job. We get to a body conditioning class, and we kind of touched on this before the episode, and someone was using a tennis ball to roll me out, and I was like, this is fine, like I roll out, I'm good. I had so many knots that I just hadn't got, and I was like, wow, and this was on my calves, and they had been feeling tight and pulling round, and I was like, well, I'm probably fine though, because I am rolling out. And I hadn't realized that just using a roller to roll out is fine, but going like really deep with like and in certain areas, probably on top of that, would benefit me more.
Yeah, it's that deep tissue in your muscles. That's the part you need to really get into. Yeah. Because I just used to roll out and think, oh yeah, it was fine. And then recently I got deep tissue massage. Wow. I didn't realize how many knots I had.
Yeah.
The woman was like, what do you do? I was like, honestly, I wish I could tell you.
Yeah. I mean, you do a lot though, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you do a lot. You dance, you run, you do all your fitness stuff. You actually have a fitness account.
I do.
You make content on fitness, which I love. I think that's great. And Kaitlin, the camera woman filming today, said ages ago something about like, oh, I want to look into something, or I want to like have more information on fitness. I'm really interested. And so I sent her your account, and I was like, follow this account. Nice. I think you did follow it. And I was like, there's some, because I've read through some of the slides, like there's some really interesting stuff here. And it's not just to do with fitness, it's to do with, it's got good context as well, like as a woman, like with kind of everything or whatever. If you've got a menstrual cycle, like anyone who kind of has that, I think it's really detailed and interesting. And I personally, I don't have a menstrual cycle, but it's good for me to learn about these things, I think. I have friends in my class who love questioning me on like just topics like that, just to see how much I know. And I've done a really good job. Nice. And I think it's from following your account. Like I just know certain things. And they're always like, how do you know that? And I'm just like, I just do my research. But it's when it just pops up on your feed. And doom scrolling on social media. It's such a problem. But I don't mind doom scrolling when I'm actually learning things. Yeah. So I'm trying to change my feed to be a bit more educational on whatever topics I'm interested in, rather than just like stupid dance trends. Yeah. Because I'll go through those for an hour and be like, I don't know what I watched 3 posts ago. What got you into creating content? What inspired you or influenced you?
So at the beginning, it was because I wanted to get into fitness and I had not a clue. I was honestly like a deer in headlights when it came to fitness. And for me, it was, I started looking on things like TikTok for like little gym workouts if you'd never been to the gym before and things like that. And then I was like, why don't I just start doing this as well? Like the information that I'm finding, if people benefit from it, then they do. But it was more of just a diary for myself.
Nice.
And then, and then from over time, it just kind of grew from there in the sense of what I was posting. Like last year, I did a foundation year, and my fitness was something that it was like my hobby outside of like performing and training and all of that. So it was just that. And then from there, I started posting my journey, and I was getting messages from people being like, oh, this actually really helped. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that people actually benefited from it. And then from there, I started taking it that little bit more educational rather than just like, here's what I did this week. It was more of like, oh, you want to know about the menstrual cycle? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that's really, I think it's, like I said, I think it's really good. And it's important that these things are things that people kind of talk about openly. Is protein powder something that you do?
I use it every day.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
It's just because protein, long story short, is like, it's what helps your muscles recover. What helps your muscles build. And I think when you're dancing so much, even if you're not doing something like this and you just want, or you go to the gym or you just like going on walks or something, it just helps you not feel sore the next day. Have you ever had a day where you've done something really full out and you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I can't move my legs? Honestly, having a little bit more protein will help you so much with that, because it's when you're using your muscles, your muscle fibers tear, and the protein just goes in and kind of builds it back up.
How do you take your protein? Do you are you using it with milk, with water, in meals?
So I try and like obviously chicken and stuff like that, but if I'm using protein powder, I'll always put it in my porridge.
Okay, nice.
Protein porridge.
Cool. Does that taste all right?
Yeah.
Is it flavoured protein or is it plain?
Yeah. So say like get yourself some chocolate protein.
Yeah.
And then you've got chocolate porridge.
Yeah. I do eat a lot of porridge. I need to buy porridge oats. I've run out. So I might, I don't know, I've got strawberries, so I don't know. Strawberry porridge.
Strawberry with a bit of Biscoff on top.
Maybe. Yeah, actually.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
And maybe actual strawberries chopped up on top.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I buy frozen berries because they're cheaper and you can like
Mm-hmm.
heat them up and then put them on,
Yeah.
which is quite nice. I love a good porridge.
Oh, I'm such a porridge fan. I'm obsessed.
And it fuels you so well for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, oats and like, I think I eat quite well. I meal prep. Do you meal prep?
Yeah, I do.
What are your go-to meals?
Ooh, I'm obsessed with potatoes. That's like my go-to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just like chicken, potatoes, and veg is always a nice one. Stir fry. I love a stir fry.
So different to me.
What's your meal prep?
Yeah, so you can tell I'm a bit on my voice. I have pasta every single day
That's so fair.
because I will go to Morrison's and I just buy loads of different types of pasta. So that's like the differentiation between my meals is the different types of
different
pasta I
pasta
have.
shapes.
And then otherwise, I would have 1 week might be this. You can judge me, a curry, and I just have it with the pasta.
That's
or
so fair.
like a bolognese, like mince and different beans and vegetables kind of cut up type thing. And then I have that all week with a pasta, or like a sausage and bacon sauce thing that I
Nice.
make, and then have that with the pasta. And I just change the pasta each day so that
That's fair.
my meal is slightly different, and that is it.
I'm such a creature of habit. I will eat the same thing
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
for a week.
Yeah. So this week all I've had is this curry that I made. It wasn't a good curry either. It was the worst one I've done. I've started working. This does link, I promise. I've started working. I'm a mascot for a mascot company.
I used to do that.
Yeah, so I'm Spider-Man, and I go to these birthday parties and I do a bunch of flips and handstands and like pretend to be Spider-Man. You know, it pays decently, and I use that money and I treat myself by buying slightly more expensive mints, and that's my treat. That's how I'm saving most of it. But I'll be like, you know what, this week, instead of getting like the £2 thing of mints, I'll get the £5 thing of mints. I'll just treat myself. Because then it's not just treating yourself like a one-off thing. It affects the rest of the week of meal prep.
Yeah. It's an investment in yourself.
Yeah,
at the end of the
totally.
day. What's your meal deal?
Okay, that's such a good
That's
question.
such a question.
I am, again, creature of habit, and I generally do get the same thing every single time, which is the chicken and bacon wrap,
Okay.
mango pot,
Okay.
and then a smoothie. Sometimes I switch the mango pot, and I'll go for like chili heat wave Doritos.
Solid
And if I need some
option.
sugar, I'll go for they do like a double Mars bar
Ooh.
thing. But I won't differ really away from those. I just go for the same. Because like once I know I like something, there's no need in risking it for something
Yeah.
you might not. So I just have the same thing every single time. What about yourself?
Okay. It's usually a chicken salad sandwich, but I've been branching out recently. The chicken, if it's from Tesco,
Yeah.
the chicken mozzarella pesto sandwich.
Oh,
So
okay.
good.
Mozzarella pesto
Yeah.
in a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I only
It's
have
so
pesto with pasta.
You need
There's
to put
pesto in a sandwich?
Yeah. I had a pesto bagel for lunch, actually. Chicken
Oh.
and pesto. Yeah.
You seem to like chicken. Is that like the highest protein, or is it just the nicest for you?
I was going to say I have this thing against red meat. I don't. I just find it like, I think when I was a kid, it used to weird us out.
Okay.
So I just usually eat chicken and fish.
Yeah. Where are you from? I'm noticing your accent. Obviously up north.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
from Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
living with a girl from Newcastle. Brooke.
Oh, yeah, Brooke.
Yeah,
I went to
yeah.
college with Brooke.
Oh, I like how you say it. Brooke. Is that how it's meant to be said?
What?
Brooke.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think it might be. I mean, again, I'm a southerner, so I just said Brooke.
Brooke.
I'm sure she's going to, if she watches this. I highly doubt
Hi,
it.
Brooke.
I don't know if she's very interested in. Well, she thinks it's interesting that I do something like this. Probably a little bit strange. I have to send a message being like, little warning, I'm doing an episode, because just in case they come in.
Do you deal with people singing?
No. We're quite lucky.
That's good.
No, I don't think. I mean, there's a guy who lives next door that way, and I hear him singing in the shower quite a bit. You probably know him. I don't know if I should out him on the episode.
Exposed.
But I hear him singing in the shower, like because the bathroom's the nearest. But otherwise, flatmates, no.
Okay.
Not that I've noticed, anyway. Or like maybe I haven't been in when they have, or maybe they've gone somewhere else when they've done it. But generally not. Although I hear a lot of stories about other people who are like having to shut up their flatmates at 7 a.m. because they're singing ahead of their lesson or something. But I don't deal with that. Do you deal with that?
Not right now, because it's just two of us.
Okay.
So we're kind of just like, okay, when we come home, it's time for just to chill. Let's leave everything about bird. Unless it's something really important, we try and do all the bird work at bird.
Fair enough.
So then when we come home, we can just chill.
Yeah.
Not be in each other's way.
Yeah.
We're not
That's good.
flipping about the kitchen.
Yeah, totally.
But last year, I lived with 7 other people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And
I live with 2 others, and that's perfect amount.
so yeah, there was 7 of us, and it would be like 11:30 at night, and people would be belting.
Oh no.
I love them all so much. And
but it gets a little bit like in your head.
And people would just go knock on their doors and be like, I can hear you singing, can you be quiet? I'm trying to go to sleep.
Fair. Yeah. I think that you can't get annoyed at that. That's quite valid if someone's telling you to shut up.
Yeah.
And I imagine that would happen every night when they would do that, because who wouldn't want them to shut up at 11:30?
Mm-hmm.
God, I feel very lucky now.
Yeah.
I feel quite blessed with the people. Thank you. If they're watching, I don't know. If one of their friends is I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot, because it means that I get good sleep. Apart from the like Friday night, and you can't expect otherwise. But a Friday night and it's like 4 a.m. And you've got a knock on your window being like, Josh, I forgot my key.
Can you let me in, please?
Please, can you let me in? But I don't it's Friday, so that's fair enough. I hope that they would do the same for me. Let's move on to some like
went on a bit of a tangent.
Wellness. Like I said, it happens. Some wellness topics. Managing stress. I mean, as someone who's doing a degree, I encounter stress quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How I deal with that is by not thinking about it until the last minute.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't the best way of doing it. But it's a work in progress. So maybe this conversation might change that. Mm-hmm. How do you manage stress? What do you think is good for managing stress?
So I am such a stress head. I will stress over everything.
Okay.
Like if I wake up 10 minutes later than planned, I will get so stressed and I'm like, I've not got enough time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't do that. Yeah, keep going. But I'll say in a second.
So the ways that I manage stress is, to be fair, I won't even lie, I've started to take up meditation.
Cool.
And it's like just 2 minutes in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I did it this morning, and I was really like, you wake up and you're just like, I've got so much to do. And I was like, let's just take 1 minute.
To chill. Yeah.
And then for the rest of today, if I've been stressed, I've just kind of reminded myself, okay, remember this morning when you took that minute and you reminded yourself, you've got time. It's not going to run away from you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just kind of doing that and then going back to that moment. Another thing is just, if there's something that I'm specifically stressed about, so say if I've got a jazz class and I need to go over the choreo, instead of just forgetting about it and pushing it to the side, which I used to do quite a lot, I just go, let's tackle it face on. Because if
right now, here.
If I don't know it now, well, I'm not going to know it when it comes to that class. So I may as well do it now, deal with that little bit of 10 minutes of being really overwhelmed. But then if I know it and I'm fine for the rest of the week.
I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
I really need to. My thing about, I guess this comes into me not thinking about it. I've got into this really bad habit of setting an alarm, it going off, and then just getting in a habit of just getting up half an hour later than when it goes off. And then I'll be like, oh, I've got to like get up and out, and I've got like 20 minutes now. Mm-hmm. And I go, and what's really bad is like academics. I know you don't have to be there really early for, so I always plan it and I get there like on the dot. Mm-hmm. But I usually a little bit of a jog. Yeah. I have to do that.
Speed walk.
Yes. Well, no, actually, no, I can't lie. Sometimes I will just run.
Fab.
Sometimes I will clip my backpack in like this. I will pull the straps down, make it nice and tight, and I just get a jog on because I'm like, this is really bad. So I've got some bad habits that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. They're a work in progress.
Yeah, I saw this thing on Instagram once, and it was just a quote that was like, a cog in motion stays in motion. And I was like, oh, that's so cringe.
Cog in motion? What does that mean?
If you look at like the inner workings of a machine and it's all the cogs.
Yeah.
They're all just like spinning round.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and it doesn't stop spinning unless you stop it.
Uh-huh.
So if you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm going to have 10 minutes back in bed, that part of you, because you're like, when you're half awake and you're half asleep, if I tell myself in that minute, but a cog in motion stays in motion, and I get up and I get out of bed, even if I just stand in the middle of my room for a few minutes, I'm like, well, I'm up now. Because you've not had time to think about it, you just do it. And yeah, I might go make myself a cup of tea and sit back in bed for another 10, 20 minutes, but at least I'm awake and I'm up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's...
Actually, no, that's good. It took me a second to just like understand, but I think I get it now. Yeah. There are a few things that I'll need to put in place, I think. Sometimes I'll hide the alarm on the other side of the room.
Yeah, I used to
and
do
then
that.
it goes off and I have to get up and like go over to it and put it off. And then I'm like, well, now I'm stood.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm like, I just want to crawl back in.
Some days it is just a case of, you know what?
I have been telling myself a little, I'm going to get up, like do my teeth, kind of like, I don't know, maybe have a shower and then I'll give myself another 5 minutes in bed. And then I'll get up and I say that to myself and I go, okay, cool, fine, I'll do that. And actually, by the time I've showered, I'm like, actually, I'm fine. I don't need to. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lie to myself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I kind of trick myself.
That's it. It's just like faking it till you make it in that sense.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's so like minuscule. It's such a small thing, just getting up in the morning. But it's such a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a real battle. And I try and get a good sleep. How much do you sleep? Because I saw a thing that said that the 8-hour sleep schedule was designed by and for men, and it wasn't what women actually needed. And apparently, the real, I don't know, statistics, whatever, was it women need about 9 to 10 hours, unlike men who maybe needed 8. I think I saw that was a thing somewhere. Mm-hmm. How much do you, not how often, every day, obviously, how much do you sleep?
To be fair, I don't get much sleep. I think on average, I usually get about 6 hours.
Oh, that's low.
It could be worse.
Yeah, I guess.
But I got 7.5 today, actually. I was quite proud of that.
Yeah.
But I try and focus on, say, if I know that I'm not going to get a lot of sleep hours-wise, I try and focus on my sleep quality. Because there's 4 different stages in the sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Light, deep, REM, and then another one, I think.
That makes sense.
And I think it's REM is the one that you want the most of. So I try and just focus my night routine around winding down as much as possible. Because the more chill you are before you go to bed, the better sleep you'll have.
Yeah, I guess with me then, like I try and aim for 8 hours, like flat. But sometimes that is like, I don't know, 11 till 7. But from 10 until 11, like I've been on my phone.
Yeah.
So it's probably not actually, I'm probably getting the same amount of REM sleep as you are. But I'm just like awake in bed with my eyes open like this for a bit longer.
Yeah.
I should probably start focusing more on my wind down. And I do tell myself that. I try and be good. But it's just habits.
What I do is I trick myself into thinking it's... Because I try and fall asleep. I'm going to sound like grandma, like 9:30 every night. Because
you wake up early. That's why.
I wake up early.
I can't judge then because you wake up early. Yeah, and you crack on with stuff.
My timetable is like 8 till 7 most days.
Oh yeah, I've got a friend who's got that.
So I don't have the time during the day to like wake up a little bit later and go do my stuff before a 10 o'clock start.
Yeah,
I've got to be in there at 8 and I'm there until 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just so it'll be like 8:30 and I'll close all my blinds and I'll put my lamps on and I'll trick myself into thinking it's like 11 p.m. And I do that, and sometimes I genuinely think it's 11 p.m.
Wow.
And I go to sleep and I wake up. I'm like, I actually went to bed at like 8 o'clock.
Damn. Okay, yeah. So I don't go to bed that early. I just give myself the 8-hour like time period. It's like, okay, it's 11 now. I'm gonna go to bed, type thing. But that's not actually 8 hours. So I am kind of lying to myself about that. What time do you get up? Like,
so if I've got a 8:30 start and I'm training in the morning, around about 4:30.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like, because you're going to bed and you're doing like these long ass days. I'm here like waking up at 20 minutes before my lesson if I've got a 8:30. Yeah. Not 20 minutes before I need to leave for my lesson. I like to leave at either 8 if I've got a warm up lesson, or quarter past. 4:30.
4:30. Yeah.
Oh, I need to get better.
So I try and I'll wake up at 4:30, and then have like half an hour, 45 minutes, because I always do my journaling in the morning. It's like the first thing I do. I wake up, I go make myself a cup of tea of some sort, and then I'll sit in bed, do my journaling, and then I'm like, right, I can now start my day.
Yeah.
So I do that. Say if I'm going on a run, I usually leave at around 5-ish.
God, blimey.
Yeah. And then I'll
Fair dues.
do my workout, whatever. And then I usually leave to go to bed at around about 7:30.
Damn.
So I give myself quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not rushing.
Yeah, that's good.
The weekend is a different story.
But
Because I work in a pub. So
Late
I'm
nights.
usually late night shifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on a Sunday, you will not catch me awake before like 7 o'clock.
Fair. Yeah.
which does still sound
Yeah.
early.
For me,
But-
it's probably more like 10, 11.
That's fair.
And some people, it's like 2 p.m. So
Yeah.
I guess everyone's different.
Yeah.
Different things work for different people. It's not like everyone should wake up earlier. It's not that everyone
Yeah.
should wake up later. It's everyone has different needs.
Yeah.
I do tell myself, and see, I think I'm harsh when I say let's try and get up at 6 to do anything. And I think I've had like 2 days since I've been at Bird where I woke up at 6 to try and I think maybe it's like if I'm really behind on a few things, I just need to crack on with a bunch of things, and I think that's early.
Yeah.
And it's not really.
I think the thing is though, like if you've got nothing to be awake for that early, there's no point in getting up that early.
Yeah.
Like I think getting up at 5 just to get up at 5, I don't really see the point in it. If you've got stuff
Fair.
to
It's
do,
fair.
or if you want to have a chill morning before a busy day or something,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, fair do get up a little bit earlier. But if you don't need to,
Yeah, if you don't need to, you
Yeah.
don't need to. But I think part of me just wants to. Not 4:30 already.
yeah,
Yeah, you couldn't
Start
just
little. No.
start at 4:30. You'd have to
No.
bring it back by 50 minutes each
Yeah,
night.
I had to build it up over
Yeah.
time.
But that helps you and that makes you feel the most productive.
Yeah, because I know that if I do whatever I need to do in the morning,
Mm.
I have my day at Bird, and then as soon as I walk out the Bird door, I'm like, right, I've just got time for myself now. This is just my chill time.
So you try not to do anything after
Yeah.
lessons. You try and like have done all of that beforehand.
Yeah. So like, you know, the 15-minute crossovers.
Yeah.
Say if I've got jazz into music theory, I'll spend that 15 minutes going over what we've just done, filming it, doing whatever I need to do. So it's in my head.
Yeah.
And then on a weekend, every Sunday, I'll make sure that I go over everything for the week. So I'm
God,
prepped for the week.
that must be such a nice like relief. That must be such a nice like you must feel so on top of things.
Most of the
Would
time.
you say?
Yeah.
What don't you feel on top of?
To be fair, sometimes I just will go into a class and be like, I worked on it, but now I've got no clue what's going on. Like I was in ballet today and we were doing a bit of the assessment stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was some of the centre practice and I was like, I can't even remember learning this. I went over it at the weekend, but it was just one of them moments where I was like, no clue.
Yeah, you've made me realize like if I want to get to that like top level,
Mm-hmm.
you probably got to do more. And this is just me talking to myself now. Wow, that's quite inspirational though. Like I think I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by you. I think that's sick that you do that.
I think part of it is because I was on a foundation year last year, so I was constantly doing audition dances, filming self-tapes and stuff. So I've just kind of got that thing of, well, I need to be on top of everything because in my head I'm like, I'm going to have to audition again. But I'm not because I'm now on a degree.
Yeah, well, you're now here.
Yeah.
But I guess it still helps because how does it work like in tangent like your mental health? Does it? I imagine it's probably quite a big benefit to it.
Yeah.
Because everything's quite controlled and set. Would you say?
Yeah. I feel like, for me personally, obviously it's different for everyone, but
Yeah, of course.
a lot of my mental health is on stress and how stressed I am. So say if I am feeling really stressed, then my mental health might take a hit. So if I keep on top of that stress, and I try and keep that stress as low as possible, then I kind of know I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
And usually if I am having a bad mental health day or something like that, then then if I go deep into it, it's probably because I am stressed in some way, shape or form. Is the short story.
What do you do in like half terms? How do you have a schedule for them? Because I can't lie, the previous half terms and holidays, I get back and I spend a week lying down on the sofa.
This upcoming
Literally.
half term, I do have quite a structured plan, which
Wow.
is because I'm staying here for a week and
Okay,
then I'm
nice.
going home for a week. So my plan is the first week to just go over assessment stuff.
For a whole week?
Yeah, I'm going to try and work as much as possible, go over my assessment stuff
Yeah.
and just solidify that. So in the second week, I can just go home, spend time with my family, spend time with my dogs.
Oh,
Just have a little chill time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so here's my half term. I'm going home on the Friday. I'm spending the first week at home. I've got a friend who's doing a short film, which I volunteered to be in.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna chill and crash. I probably will try and give myself an hour or two a day to like do college stuff.
Yeah.
Proper.
Maybe.
You know what? I'm gonna try and give myself a couple hours each day to do college stuff. I also want to keep on top of fitness. I might lug the protein powder back with me. Start taking that. I don't know.
You need a different suitcase.
Yeah, but I'd wanna do a bit of that. And then the second week, I'm going up to visit my grandparents and cousins in just outside of Liverpool in the Wirral.
Nice.
And so I'm going to see them. Although my grandma's quite ill, so it'll be an interesting week. And my parents were like, "How long would you like to come?" Because they've got an Airbnb booked. Like, "How long would you like to come for?" I was like, "When is it booked?" And they were like, "Well, it's Monday to Sunday." Like, I'll just come for the whole time because what am I going to do at home?
Yeah.
Apart from, I was like, "Does the Airbnb have a sofa and a TV?" They said yes. I went, "I'll just come for the week then." But I'm going to start thinking. I might plan a few things like more detailed in terms of like the fitness and the bird stuff, because there actually is, when you think about it, you've got loads of different subjects and we've all got loads of different assessment work for it, and I've got to do my songs and I've got to do my acting scripts, and I guess when I think about it like that, it's quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
But if I just be like, Monday is the day I'm going to focus on this, I might do a little bit of a schedule like that.
I think that's the best way to do it, because if I just looked and on my thing it said do assessment work, I would be like, oh, I've got so much to do. But say on Monday, if I go over my songs and my ATS, then tick that off. On Tuesday, I'll go over the ballet stuff. And it doesn't have to be for long. I'm making it sound like
You spend
I'm
all
so
day,
productive.
10 hours.
All my time at Bird and doing Bird stuff. But I do like spend time just lying about. Like I'm not productive all the time. I don't think anyone is. It's not sustainable at all.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say that.
Yeah. Well, people like watch the podcast or see the stuff we put out and they go, wow, like you must like do so much. This podcast is all I've done today. I mean, I am a little bit unwell, but it is quite literally, it is literally the only thing I've done today, apart from sleep. Like,
that's good though.
But I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Again, this is the episode about self-care and wellness.
Self-care.
And that is self-care. I'm looking after myself. I don't know. I think it might just be kind of end of term. I get like that. I kind of get burnt out by the end. So the very first, did you go home in the first half term?
No.
So I didn't, and so it was like a 15-week straight.
Yeah.
And I got home for Christmas, and that first week I was so ill.
Yeah.
Horribly ill.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you sick, or were you just like run down?
I think it was just like, because I got home and I was ill, and I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And my mom was like, she thinks it's just the release of everything. You've been
Yeah,
doing
that's
so
what
much
my
for 15
parents
weeks.
said. Yeah.
And then you've came back and just chilled, and your body's your body and your mind is just like, whoa.
Yeah. Bit of a warning for the viewers. My release was a physical. It was a release.
Oh.
And then it was a week of just. And I don't know. Pardon? Yeah, I still edited a podcast.
Still on the podcast grind.
It was horrible, because that was at the point where I was like, I've got to keep up this every single week. I was so strict. And so I was like wrapped up in a blanket, but with like cold sweats. It was horrible. And I was at my dad's computer, and I brought my hard drive down with my files in. And I think it was the T-Fay episode for Christmas and the New Year's episode. And I was there like at the computer like, oh, I really don't want to do this. But now, if I don't feel great, or like if we can't get a guest worked out for a week, we'll just take a break.
Yeah.
Like no one's like relying on this for their weekly podcast. Like I don't know why I get so uptight. So we have broken our streak, unfortunately. Do you think you're going to go for it? Are you trying it each week? Each Sunday, right?
Yeah, so we're trying Sundays, but we've said we might do like 4 weeks and then have a week off.
Fair.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah.
Totally. It's so challenging doing it each week. It's rewarding because you can look back and you can be like, wow, like that's an achievement. But it's just a lot of work, like of extra stuff that you have to do. That's probably a good idea that you've got from the start. What are your plans then with your podcast?
So as of right now, I just kind of seeing where it goes. Like, we've got episode plans and we've got kind of ideas of structures and things like that. But genuinely, right now, it's just a little passion project for the both of us.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I think we both kind of got to a point where we've got goals in with fitness and we've got goals in bird, but we needed something else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it kind of just came to the thing of, should we just start a podcast and let's talk about wellness? Because I think a lot of people asked us about it. So we were like, why don't we just join forces right now? And because that's how me and Abs first became friends, was we were in the same workshop together. She came up to us, she was like, I think I follow your Instagram.
Ah, cool.
And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And figured out, like, we kind of been aware of each other on Instagram through our wellness pages and things like that. And then we just got really close after that, and it was just a case of,
oh, that's awesome.
let's just do it.
Yeah, I think it's one I definitely will start probably listening to, because it's just getting that like just reminder of certain things as well. And then because sometimes I will listen to a podcast, maybe it's Diary CEO or whatever, and I go, oh, I should start doing that again. Like, it's something I knew, but I just like forgotten about. And so it's always good. So it's definitely one, and I think this will apply to lots of other students as well. So yeah, I mean, I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you.
I'd love to kind of. Do you have Anchor for Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to like have a look on that on your phone and like kind of go through.
Yeah.
I love like stats and I love
Just see it.
all of things like that. But that'll be, we can do that after the
Post
episode.
pod.
Yeah. Would you ever do video?
I don't know. I think maybe in the future. Like, we've just filmed the 3rd episode, so it's very early days.
Yeah. I'm gonna plug that one. What's it about?
So, what is it about? So the one that's coming, that one English, the one that's just came out is about. Why have I actually forgot? It's been such a long day.
That's all right.
It's about goal setting and things like that. And then the next one is wellness trends on social media.
Nice.
And kind of our thoughts on them. And yeah, just things like that.
Would you ever consider doing like guests and inviting people on?
Yeah, I think, because I know that there is a lot of people about who are very into their wellness. So it would be interesting to kind of hear what other people have to say. Yeah. Because right now it's just us two rattling our opinions off.
We might just go straight then into self-love and positivity.
Cool.
Because I think you've got to love yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise life's, I don't know, just a bit down. What do you find helps you to love yourself more?
Being fully honest, recently I went through a really big like plummet when it comes to self-love and confidence. Like, I really struggled with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't know what to do to kind of like help this out. I was literally just like, what? I just felt so lost with it. And then I kind of spoke to myself and was like, okay, why am I sitting here focusing on all the things I don't like about myself? Because surely there's like some stuff that must be somewhat decent about myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, I try and do things like every now and then if I'm not feeling great, I'll just stop and be like, let's just list 3 things I like about myself. It doesn't have to be physical. It can just be a case of like, oh, I really like the way that my hair looks today, which I know is a physical one. But it doesn't have to be linked to like, oh, I have really nice eyes. I have that, like, or you can just be like, I had a really nice conversation before. And it's just trying to find them positives. Because when you focus on the positive, it makes more positive stand out. Because I think when you stood in that part where you're just dwelling on stuff and you spiral and you just get to a point where you're like, I don't know what to do. And that's where I got to. And yeah, it was just a case of being more proactive in finding the little joys and things like that. I think when it comes to self-love, especially with being in training and things like that, you've got to be your number one supporter. You've got to be your number one fan, because if you're not, then who's rooting for you apart from yourself? Obviously, your friends and your teachers, they want you to do well. They all
focus on themselves as well. Yeah. Because you kind of have to. Yeah. Because it's an industry where we're all going to end up competing against each other. And obviously it's good to support. I'm not saying don't support each other. Yeah, 100%. But by the time we come out, you and your best mate might be going for the same job. And it's like, you can't, I guess, expect them to support you because they're focusing on like what they're doing. Yeah. So that's so true. Become your number one supporter. I think, say, going about the thing of if you and your friend work for the same job, you've got to be so secure in yourself that you are good enough to be there and you are good enough to do what you're doing. Yeah. Because
I think we don't tell ourselves that we're good. Like, we're always like, oh, I'm so bad at tap. Oh, I can't sing.
Yeah.
You need to tell yourself that you're good at stuff.
Yeah.
You need to recognise that stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's so true. I hear it loads. I think I've mentioned this before on a previous episode. I hear loads after someone does something and they go, "Oh, that was so shit," or like, "That was really bad." No, it wasn't. It
Literally,
wasn't.
like,
It really wasn't. That, like, if if that was bad, then what like I did a second ago was atrocious.
that's what I would say. I'm
you
like,
know?
if that was bad, then what bad?
Yeah,
Do it?
like, because I've come and I'm like, I'm not a singer, for example, and so I'm not the most comfortable doing it, but I give it a try.
Mhm.
And some people will get up and sing, and I'm like, wow, that's really good. And then they finish, and their face goes,
Yeah.
"What do you mean? You sounded like insane. You
Yeah.
sounded great. Like, you hit some like crazy notes."
Mhm.
So yeah, I think self love is so important, and it also rubs off on other people. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you're positive and if you're feeling just good, other people will start to feel that energy.
Mhm.
I know that sounds a bit like the energy, like, but I think it's true. It's
No.
kind of like the atmosphere and the mindset that you create
Yeah. I
is
fully agree.
is good. A previous guest we had on, Henry,
Mhm.
that episode was about positivity. I don't know if you have lessons with
Just tap support.
tap support.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's everything. He's on it. He's always very vocal about, like, come on guys, let's
Mhm.
Tap's like, I guess it might be a bit different, but I'm in workshop with him and he's great.
Yeah.
He's just like, let's just do it now. Or like, if a teacher's like, should we do this like now, next week? He's like, nah, come on guys, like, we've got this. And he hypes himself up so much that it does affect like the rest of the room.
Yeah.
And I think that's so great. Which is why I asked him to come on to do one about positivity,
Mhm.
because positivity is important. And in terms of self-care and wellness as like an
Yeah.
overall kind of topic, it's definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, that's like, there's a girl in my group, and it could be 8 o'clock in the morning. She could be on 2 hours sleep, but as soon as she walks in that room, it just lights everybody's day up. She's honestly one of the most purest people I've ever met.
Oh, that's great.
I just love her, and everyone's just like,
Yeah.
she's just so great, and she's always so positive,
Mm.
and it just rubs off on everyone.
We now have the Love the Advice section, which was created by Maz, who is very jealous that we've kind of stolen it and kept on going, but she's an influencer, on me anyway. The first question in this Love the Advice, and it's about self-care and rest, which is this episode. The first question is, what is the best way to find self-care that works for you?
I think trial and error is kind of the bottom line of it.
valid.
Because I think self-care is so different for everyone. Like, what works for me might not work for you, or what works for you might not work for someone else. I think it's genuine, just a thing of trying to see what works for you, what you like, what you don't like. Because, say, before I was talking about how I do meditation in the morning. Some people might hate that. Some people might just prefer to just sit there or read a book or something like that. But self-care doesn't have to be read a book, go on a walk, listen to a podcast. But do listen to podcasts.
Yeah,
Do listen
please
to
do.
podcasts.
Both are both
Please.
very good.
It can be something like playing a video game or something like that. Like, I'm such a Sims person. I love The Sims.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool.
And if I've got a bit of time, some of my self-care time is playing The Sims.
Yeah, if Sims had more fighting, I think I'd enjoy it more. I play Civ 6 and Battle of Polytopia on my phone, Civ 6 on my computer, which is it's not similar, but it's still got that vibe of like you're building up, like, well, Sims is like your house and like your environment. Civ is about like cities. But the difference about this one is that then you go and fight other cities, which I think is great. I used to watch a lot of Sims. Ali and Ali's partner does a lot of Sims.
Yeah.
Back in the day anyway. Not as much currently, but it's still a good game.
Yeah. I love a bit of Minecraft as well.
Yeah. When I go home on the Xbox, it's just a nice throwback. Because I got it when I think it must have been when it first came out,
Yeah.
and my cousin was like, Josh Samuel, like, Minecraft, this thing is like it's awesome, and me and him like convinced my parents to let us buy it, and we were playing it on my laptop, and it's good therapy.
It is.
Also, like, if you've got headphones in and
The
you've
music.
got music and the sounds when it's raining, and it's like, it's a
I
good
love
game.
Minecraft.
It's one of the best, actually. I don't know what beats it. I don't think anything can beat it. It's just so widely. It's got everything. You can do your fighting, and you can do your nice kind of cozy house building.
Yeah.
Good game.
Good
It's
game.
a good game. Yeah, so self-care that works for you. So Minecraft, playing games, doing things, trial and error.
Yeah, I think trial and error
As
is
an answer.
basically the bottom line.
Yeah. Nice. How do you avoid burning out?
Oh, I think being aware that you are heading towards burnout is the most important thing. Because I think once you reach the point of burnout, then you're just like, oh, well, I can't be bothered to get back into it. I don't want to get back running again because, not physically running, but I don't want to get back into the swing of things because I just can't be bothered. I'm so burnt out. So I think it links back to the self-care thing of finding what works for you. So say for me, I know that if I went home after an 8 till 7 day and did a bunch of bird work, I would be so burnt out the next day.
Yeah.
Which is why I try and get it done in that short time so I can just leave it at the door.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I feel like a lot of this episode is me being going, damn, I'm really bad at things. Like, you know, but actually on the topic of burnout, because I've done it before, like, for example, today, I feel like if I hadn't taken today off and had gone in, come Friday and I would have gone home, I would have gone through that same cycle.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm just going to take this week a little bit easier. There's no like assessments. It's just the last week. I'm going to be a bit more sensible with it so that over half term I can properly rest and not be recovering from a full burnout like I did over Christmas.
Yeah, I think taking time away from things is so fine. Like some people think, say, for example, a podcast, if you've got to get one out every week, and then if you get burnt out, you're not going to love it. That's that passion gone.
Yeah, over Christmas, I did not love it. It was tough.
That's like, I went through a phase where I hated my Instagram account.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I just took a month or something away from it, or however long I needed. And then when I felt the passion again, I was like, you know what? Okay, let's get back into this.
I think that's important because like you're not being paid for these things. It's not like it's
No.
a job. It's not like it's supporting you financially. Opposite with this, you know, it's a money drainer. So you've kind of got to do it when it is like when you're excited by it. And some weeks you're not going to be excited by it, and that's fine, totally. I can't read; it's quite small. What is your favorite self-care activity?
Ooh, I think my favorite right now is just lying in bed. Like,
yeah, sure.
I just love lying in bed right now. It's my favorite thing to do. Sometimes I'll go home. I'll get back at like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and I'll speak to my flatmate for a little bit. And sometimes like he'll come in my room, he'll sit on the floor, and I'll just be lying in bed, like fully covers on and everything. He's like, "You all good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling right now."
That's sweet.
Even if it's like I'm on my laptop or I'm doing something, I love a bit of Pinterest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which odd
Yeah,
one.
not me personally, but I see
Yeah.
that.
I don't know
Scrolling
why.
through.
It's quite satisfying.
It's so much better than doom scrolling.
Yeah.
On like TikTok or Instagram, because again, I love coming home from a long day and just wrapping up in bed. The thing that's not good is it'll be on my phone for 2 hours like this, and then it finishes and I'm like, what the hell did I just do?
I had to delete TikTok.
I don't have TikTok. It's Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
I had TikTok for the first couple months when it came out, and I haven't had it since. Which that's good.
It is
but
addictive.
Instagram Reels has replaced it.
Yep.
And it's terrible. And I wish there was some way you could like block them or not have them. And sometimes I might need to step away from Instagram and just do it on my computer.
Sometimes I even stem to YouTube Reels.
Oh yeah, shorts.
Yeah.
They're not good either. Yeah, we do contribute to that issue. Shorts are Oh. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm complaining about them and I do like
Yeah.
I'm such an Instagram Reel person.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, shorts isn't good. I mean, I don't watch enough YouTube on my phone to maybe need it. I could probably get rid of YouTube on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I do most watching YouTube on my computer. And then Instagram I could probably download and uninstall in periods throughout the week. That's something I'm going to consider. I'm glad we've talked about that because that would be good.
There's this app, sorry to just put in there. My sister showed us it because she works from home.
Right.
And there's this app, I think it's called Opal, and you can choose what apps to block off it like however long.
Nice.
So say if you want to block Instagram for an hour, you can block it for an hour. And if you go to tap on Instagram, it pops up and it's like Instagram is blocked, you can't use it. You have to go into the app.
Okay, yeah. Because I would just get into habits of just being like, oh, it's blocked. Okay, unblock. Go into Instagram. So I think for me, it might just be. But then here's the thing: even if I get rid of it, I'll be like, oh, I really want to go on Instagram. Install,
Yeah.
log in.
It's so easy.
So I've got to just tell myself I've got to be strict.
Mhm.
I think, and I think a lot of that success would come from if I start being stricter in my everyday life. For example, waking up when my alarm goes off. If I start being a little bit more on it, like telling myself I'm going to do something and then doing it, like I'm going to go to the gym today, so then I actually go to the gym.
Mhm.
I think if I'm generally stricter, it might make me better at being stricter of these other things,
Yeah.
such as saying I'm going to keep Instagram off my phone for a week, because I get into a lot of habits of saying something and then not doing it, and then that makes me sad.
Mhm.
And then it means that when I say I'm going to do something else, I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine though, isn't it? Yeah. And then but it's not fine. So thanks for this conversation. I'm going to start being stricter. I think that's good. Last one. Who inspires you to create wellness content?
I think, to be fair, a lot of the people that, because I don't have a big following at all or anything like that, and I don't do it to get followers or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think just knowing that sometimes people will walk past us in the corridor and be like, oh, you posted that thing, and I actually like really learned something from it. And just stuff like that really makes us want to post more. But also, there are like a couple of influencers and stuff. There's one girl who's called Amelia Goldsmith. She's known as Millie G. And she's very like fitness content vibes and stuff like that. I
recognise that name. 1 second. Keep talking.
Have a little stalk. And long story short, I don't know how it came about, but she invited me to a Gymshark event last year.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's awesome.
And then from there, I was kind of like, she did a bit of a talk on kind of her account and everything. And I was just like, it just seems really interesting. So I think she is a big factor into it. Yeah.
No, I thought I'm thinking of someone else.
Oh.
There's this guy I used to watch, and he's become a bit cringy now. His content has changed, but they used to have like a YouTube group, and I remember one of the members was like this big fitness. I'm pretty sure it was a Millie. I don't know. I never followed it. But I thought he was
the guy.
I forgot his name. This was like 2 years ago, but like it was just like really cool group, and they'd like go on holidays and like vlog it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I wish I could go and do that, but I'm stuck at home. It was one of those things like lockdown. And there definitely was a Millie in that group who was fitness, but not this Millie, I don't think. Unless they look really different after 2 years. I don't know.
Who knows?
But it's really good to have those inspirations.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if I've got any. Have you seen the trend on of male fitness influencers oiling up? Have you seen that on?
What, like for bodybuilding competitions?
Not for their comments, just want them to oil up, and so it's like,
Oh.
if you get me to however many followers, I'll do an oil up video, and then like
seen it.
it's like, Noel, the bodybuilding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was like if getting his second account to 1 million, and then he like posted like an oil up thirst trap thing, and it was just like his comments were just like a bunch of like guys being like, yeah, we've wanted this for months, and it just created this whole trend. So I think I quite like that, because then it gets recommended to me some more, and I go like, that's actually quite cool. Although I think he's quite open about being on gear, which that's fair enough, if that's what he wants to do. But I guess you've got to be careful about the different body standards that sets, as well as things like Photoshop and so many problems. Probably a whole topic that you might want to discuss yourself, or maybe I'll do this on the movement theories another time. Not this week though. That's
a whole different ballgame.
That's crazy amount of things that come into that. Well, on that note, make sure you go and check out A Cup of Wellness. A Cup of Wellness is on Spotify.
It is.
Amazon?
Just Spotify.
Just Spotify.
Yeah.
I might talk to you then about branching out, because you can put it onto Apple.
Oh, can you?
Quite easily, and Amazon.
Good to know.
So, after the episode, we can discuss that. So it might be in other places. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll find
Currently on Spotify, go check out Cup of Wellness.
Yeah.
Comes out on Sundays, and have a look at their Instagram as well. And then if you want to know more content-wise, just in short form, if that is what you like, then you both have Instagram accounts to do with fitness and wellness, which from personal experience, I think are very beneficial, and you learn a lot from. Go check out this podcast on different social media platforms.
we post clips of the episodes. I mean, you've seen this episode now. You might not want to watch clips of it. But do what you want to do. And if you enjoyed it, give us a comment. Or if I know you, tell me in person. I always love it when someone comes up to you.
It's always so nice when someone comes up to you in person.
Yeah. Like I remember I watched one of the third year shows, Spelling Bee. And then one of the principals in that like came up to me a couple of days later and was like, "Oh, I watched your podcast yesterday. And it was really good." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I watched you on the show. You were sick." And they might actually come on in a couple of weeks' time after half term.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun episode. I love doing things like this. It's just cool, isn't it?
It's nice to speak to people who like, not like you wouldn't really speak to, but say like, we don't really speak in tap sport and things like that.
No, not at all. I was gonna say I haven't really spoken to you.
Yeah.
Ever.
But it's just nice to speak to like and branch out and
Yeah,
network
totally.
with new people.
Totally. Yeah. Well, that's why I like doing this.
Yeah.
Because I am just the type of person who just won't speak to people otherwise.
Oh, so
Like if someone doesn't come up to me, even if it's my friend, if my friend doesn't come up to me, I'm happy to stay in silence in my own thoughts for the whole day, which is it's just a me thing. It's the way my brain works. But if someone does come up to me and I have a conversation, then I feel good and I'm happy and I've socialized, and I just fall into habits, which has been like, I'm just very antisocial in that sense. And so this is my way of kind of combating that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I just won't. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I've really enjoyed this episode, and I know I've taken stuff away from it, and I hope you guys have as well. If you're still here, I mean, the episode ended about 5 minutes ago. What are you doing? Make sure you do all those liking and stuff. Thanks for watching. I'm Josh, and I will see you next week. Bye.